got an early, very, very early Thanksgiving special. Look, I got to give it to you. I got to tell you guys honest and truthfully, man. Ravi has worked his ass off on this damn stuff that we're about to show you guys. It's epic. It's completely epic. It's we're gonna be diving in on some awesome fantasy stuff today. So all you fantasy lovers that love fantasy, come check us out. We got the real things for you guys. We got the awesome stuff for you guys. We got the hot sauce. And yeah, man, we put in a lot of work for this show today. I mean, Robbie went bonkers, man. He went bonkers and much love to him, man, and all the hard work he did. And we cannot wait. Seriously, we cannot wait to freaking show you guys what we got. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Typical Raymond, always trying to give me the credit, man. You put in a lot of work too, not just me. We both put in a lot of work on this, man. And we are going to come at you guys with some start and sits. Raymond's going to take over the right side of the screen. I'm going to take over the left side of the screen. Raymond's going to break down all the home games. I'm going to break down all the away games. We got a few games. We have a few teams on bye. We put in a lot of work and time into this research. So I hope you guys enjoy. Well, we're going to start it off with the first game, the Colts versus the New England Patriots. Raymond, I'll go first, and then you can go right after me if that works for you.
Sounds
Uh,
good.
cool. So starting off with the Colts, obviously Sam Ellinger is a sit. If you're going to rely on him on week 9 of your fantasy season, there's some stuff wrong. Jonathan Taylor did not practice today. He's been hurt a lot. He is a borderline start. And if for
Wow.
some reason, if he does play, you drafted him first overall, second overall, wherever you drafted him, you almost have to start this guy. They fired their offensive coordinator, so hopefully they'll get a little bit better. But if Jonathan Taylor sits and if he is out this week, I am going all in on Deion Jackson. No Naheem Hines. Zach Moss just got there. He's not going to be ready in time. If Jonathan Taylor sits, get Deion Jackson in your lineup. Um, Michael Pittman's also a borderline for me. I think the Patriots will take the Patriots will take away their number one weapon, which would rather be Jonathan Taylor if he's there, if not Michael Pittman. So he's a little bit scary start. And then all across the board, Paris Campbell, he's just not there yet. Rookie Alec Pierce is not there yet. And they have Kylan Granson. That just says it all. So if you're looking that way, you are in some deep waters. Raymond, what do you got on the home side?
Yeah, starting with QB Mac Jones, I think it's the best thing to do is to sit Mac Jones. If you look at his fantasy, and by the way, I just want to let everybody know out there, I'm going off of Yahoo Fantasy PPR. That's what I'm going off of. So if you're in a standard league, maybe the numbers might be a little bit off, depending. It's like that for everybody. Everybody does their fantasy differently, anyways. But for Mac Jones, I truly think we should sit him. I think that for those fantasy owners, I think that you should sit him. He hasn't even put up more than 17.44 fantasy points this year. I mean, that's not, and plus I think that quarterback controversy is still there. I think you still have some New England fans that still want to go with Zappy for sure. But as far as the running back for Ramondre Stevenson, what a freaking beast. What a freaking beast this man is. If you guys haven't been following him, I'm sure there's a lot of fantasy owners that have. But dude, this guy's an absolute monster. The last 4 games, he's put up more than 20 plus points for sure, easily. And honestly, he's a consistent RB1. I seriously think he's going to put up 20 points this game against the Colts. I expect him to have 30. Personally, I expect him to have 30 freaking points. This guy can do it all. He's a great pass catcher. He can run extremely good between the tackles. Shout out to that New England offensive line, baby.
Let's
Let's go to
go.
the next one. Running back, Damian Harris. We got to sit this man. We got to sit this man. I love Damian Harris. I think he is a good running back. But the emergence of Ramondre Stevenson is big time. This man is big time. And you know what's really cool? I remember back in the day, Robbie, you were literally when he was first coming out, you were like, dude, I am so high on this guy. Like this guy is gonna be something special. And look at dude, he's balling, man. He's freaking balling. We'll go to our next guy. Dude, you gotta start Jacoby Myers. He's a dude, that fool is so sneaky. He's a sneaky cat, man. His route running ability, the way he can get open, he's got great hands. He's just a fantastic He's a fantastic wide receiver. He had literally his biggest showing of this year. He put up 21 fantasy points last game. If you go back and look at all his fantasies, he didn't even put up 21. He put that up last week. I expect him to follow that trend. Especially with this defense. I know this defense is not really the best, but I expect Mac Jones to feed him some targets. We're gonna go with the next guy, Nelson Aguilar. Come on, man. Come on, really? Nelson Aguilar. I can't. It doesn't. He just doesn't give me. It's something that just doesn't turn me on. It doesn't turn me on for Nelson Aguilar. I think you got to sit him for sure. Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry. I think you have to sit him as well. I'm very weary about him. He had one good game in week 6 against the Cleveland Browns where he had 16.10 fantasy points. He's pretty much a touchdown dependent. So I think if the Patriots run I don't know, let's just say like a 2nd and 5, 35, deep down at the goal line, I could see Mac Jones doing one of those play action passes where that tight end just kind of sneaks out. And I can see Hunter Henry being that kind of guy that just sneaks out to the left or the right hash of the field and just giving him that easy touchdown pass. But Jonnu Smith, man, yeah, dude, Jonnu Smith, dude, I think you have to sit him as well. I just don't understand. He was so good in Tennessee, and it's just really sad to see the production. He's not getting the targets at all. So I would be very, very cautious and very weary of Jonnu Smith.
I cannot agree with you even more. And I got Ramondre Stevenson in my big league, so I'm very stoked about that. Um,
I'm going against him this week.
oh man,
Yeah,
good
I'm
luck.
praying for sure.
Yeah, best of luck to you. Next up game, we got the Green Bay Packers at Detroit. For the Packers, that offense is just dreadful, man. Just from start to finish, that offense is dreadful. But they are going against the Lions. This could be their confidence game. This could be their bounce back game that we've all been waiting for. Aaron Rodgers has been nothing but a disappointment in fantasy this season so far, but I am rolling out with him this week. Aaron Jones, you cannot bench that guy. Every time that guy has the ball in his hands, something magical happens. AJ Dillon, I know I put him as a start. I think this game's gonna get away from the Lions, and I think we could see some AJ Dillon goal line work that just sneaks a touchdown in, gets a few garbage time points, and starts. But he's on a very maybe low RB2, maybe flex type of player for me. Romeo Dobbs, he's the only good receiver that they have. I don't trust Alan Lazard. He's been so in and out of the lineup. He's banged up right now. Sammy Watkins, absolutely, you're going to sit him. Um, Robert Tunyon, Rodgers is going to have to get the ball down the field, and he will against a team that cannot stop the receivers and team that cannot stop the tight ends. I think Robert Tunyon's going to get a touchdown. He'll be floating right around that 10 to 12 point mark, right where you need to be as a starter. What do you got for the Lions side, Ray?
Yeah, for the Lions, honestly, I put to sit on Jared Goff. Honestly, if you look at his fantasy, man, it's just been a complete roller coaster. It feels like I'm riding the Medusa at Six Flags. It's just wild. He had the best game of his season when he went against Seattle. He put up 32.72 fantasy points. That's amazing. That's QB1 numbers right there. But since then, 5.86, basically 5.6 points against New England. I get it. New England's a hell of a defense, but come on, man, you can't have that. And also 1 point, to give you the exact number, 1.02 against the Dallas Cowboys. I can't even believe that, man. Come on, man. However, he did bounce back against Miami where he had about 18 and a half fantasy points. I will give him that. So it seems to me that Jared Goff doesn't really do good against good. He doesn't do good against good defenses. He does great against bad defenses. That's the kind of trend that I'm kind of seeing from him. But I think you're right. I believe what you're saying as far as Green Bay getting back into the groove, into what we know the Green Bay Packers to be. And I think they're gonna. It's a divisional game. They know each other well, and I think Green Bay's gonna stomp all over them. That's what I think. And to go back to DeAndre Swift, I love DeAndre Swift. It's really hard for me, and I know fantasy owners are probably like, dude, how the hell could I sit DeAndre Swift? Dude, he's not consistent. And I don't mean the production. I mean his injury. His injury. He can't stay on the freaking field. This man cannot stay on the field. I know he's getting back into. I know they're trying to get. I mean, if you look at the touches, he didn't really have too many touches in his last game, and he's just not able to be consistently on that field as that first, second, and third down running back. I think Jamal Williams is your must start. I think he's your safe bet. And, Jamal Williams, he gave you 22.60 fantasy points. And, and I think he's the running back that I don't think he's going to take Swift's job, but I think he's such a great backup that I think that he's a safer bet in my opinion. Um, but to go with, oh man, St. Brown. Oh my gosh. I love this guy, man. I freaking love this wide receiver. You have to start. He's a freaking beast. I know he's been out with an injury. But he did come back. He did come back last game. He put up about almost 14 fantasy points. Honestly, with him going against Jair Alexander, I expect him to put up over 20. I expect him to do what Stephon Diggs did, but even better, baby, because this guy is a boss. He's a freaking boss. I
Wow.
love his play. Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds, I don't really like I said, it's what kind it's it basically this is where it's like it's a high risk, high reward because it's like what Jared Goff are we gonna see? Are we gonna see the Jared Goff that put up 32? Or are we gonna see the Jared Goff that put up literally 1 point? One. I could have gotten 1 point, and I don't even play football. I could have gotten one damn point. So I think you got to sit him. I think you be safe. This next guy I want to talk about, James Mitchell. You must start him. You have to start him. You have. This is one of these guys that excite the hell out of me. James Mitchell. He's a fifth round rookie, right? He's a fifth round rookie from Virginia Tech, and somebody on those Lions has to step up for they have to step up since TJ Hawkinson went to the Vikings. Somebody's got to give these guys a shot. There's two tight ends on that roster. One is questionable, right? He's questionable for this week. The other one is James Mitchell, who's not he's coming back from an ACL injury that he had. I think he's coming back and the team says they're going to give an extremely good look at him. I watched this tape. This kid can ball. Look out for him. I think you should have him. I think you should have him rostered deep. If you're in fantasy, I think you guys should definitely get him. Take a good look at him because the team's taking a really damn good look at him, and I think this kid's gonna be something cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you? I know how much you love Jameson Williams. Speaking of ACL, he should be coming back maybe in a month or so. Ray, how do you feel about the Lions getting Jameson Williams back?
Dude, I love Jamison Williams. I watched him in Alabama. The kid, seriously, I'm not even joking. He has speed of Tyreek Hill. Like he's extremely fast. He can run by any corner. He is a boss. The only downfall is I was watching a little bit of Hard Knocks, and they said that he wasn't really happy. He wasn't really engaged with the team. He wasn't really like, and I don't really know too much about that. I just was watching a little bit of that Hard Knocks, and it just didn't seem like he was engaged with the team, like he didn't really want to be there. And that's a kind of a red flag for me. But if he wants to make it in this league, he's got to get over that. He got drafted by this team, and I think he's going to be really, really solid. I really do. Watch the speed. When you see him out there, watch his route running, watch his speed. He has great hands. He's phenomenal. I can't wait to watch him and play. Do I think he's going to put up 30 points a game? Absolutely not. But I think he can easily get you. I think he can easily get you 15 for sure. I really do, and I think it makes that offense even more deadlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing Amon-Ra St. Brown on one side and Jameson Williams, I'm sure some defensive coordinators are going to stay awake late at night. Next game, we got the LA Chargers going to the Atlanta Falcons. Herbo Turbo, man. God, man, this Chargers team has been pretty banged up at the receiver position. Mike Williams is about to miss 4 games. Keenan Allen came out and said his hamstring got worse after the bye week. So he's going to be missing some more time out of the time he already missed. So, but you have to start Justin Herbert. You drafted him to start Justin Herbert. The Falcons give up the third most points to the QBs this season so far. They're absolutely getting torched. Some of these weapons are going to have to get it going. Austin Eckler, I'm expecting a huge game out of him again. He's showing why he could be the top one back in all of fantasy football. He is doing absolutely stunner. Um, DeAndre Carter and Joshua Palmer. That's who we're down to for the Chargers so far. And obviously, the Joshua Palmer is probably the more talented out of the two, but DeAndre Carter does get some love, and DeAndre Carter could be right around that 10-point mark if you're in some deeper leagues, some desperation throws, some bye weeks affecting you. I don't hate putting DeAndre Carter in. I think Josh Palmer will get the better of it, but I think Gerald Everett is gonna do really good against these guys. Um, the Falcons are one of the worst guarding the tight ends this season. On top of that, I think Gerald Everett is gonna have a huge monster game, and he could float in that top tight end five number this week. What do you have for the Falcons side?
Yeah, for the Falcons side, I know this might be a shocker for fantasy owners, but I would sit Marcus Mariota. I don't like the fact that he threw like he didn't really throw too many pass attempts. I mean, you're he's facing a good defense. I know the Chargers are banged up. I understand that, and I understand that but they got to get it together. And I think this is the game where they do get it together. I think that defensive line comes alive a little bit and gets after Marcus Mariota. I know that he put up 25 and a half fantasy points last game, but I do think he faces a little bit more of a tougher challenge in the Chargers. As far as running back Tyler, I can't
Al-
even really say his last name. How do you say his last name? Is it
Algier.
Algier? There we go. Tyler Algier. I'm gonna be butchering a lot of names. I just want to let everybody know that right now. But yeah, dude. Honestly, I think you start him. I know that Cordell Patterson did come back to practice, but I think what people need to realize is that just because he comes back to practice doesn't mean he's game ready. He's been out of the game out of playing football for a little bit. You got to give this man a couple. He's got to give him some more practice reps, and the team has to evaluate to see how that injury is doing and how he's going to perform on the field because you want him at 110%, not just 50. Um, Algier, I believe he is a touchdown dependent running back, but I think with the lack of pass attempts, I expect him to have a great day, and I really do expect him to get over 15 because he is valuable as a pass catcher as well. So I think he can do a little bit of both for you. But I think for fantasy owners, if he does get you that touchdown, you're solid. If he doesn't, I really think he can get at least over 10 for you easily. Um, now this next guy, Drake London. I love Drake London. I watched this film as a when he was a rookie. It's just, but I just think you have to sit him like I said before. Only 28 pass attempts for Marcus Mariota, and he's not the best at the QB position when it comes to throwing the football. So I just don't think he's going to have a lot of opportunities to really showcase his talents and his skills. I just don't really see it. I'm not really too high on it. Um, and as far as the next guy, and I'm like I said, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. I'm just gonna get the first. It's a O, and his last name is a Z. I'm gonna call him Oz because I don't know what the hell his name is. I'm sorry. Oh. What? How do you even say it, Rob?
Olamide Zacchaeus.
Well, I can't even pronounce that. So I will. So, um, yeah, dude, I would stay away. Honestly, I think he is a good wide receiver, but I just don't. I'm just not high on him, man. I'm just gonna sit him. Like I said, the lack of pass attempts, the passing, the accuracy for Marcus Mariota troubles me. Not a fan. Kyle Pitts. Oh boy, do I love Kyle Pitts. Dude, this man, let me say something. This man needs to get the freaking ball more. I understand he can out of 28 pass attempts, this man should have got 20. This man should have gotten 20 attempts targets his way. He is a mismatch nightmare. He had 9 targets, 5 receptions for 80 yards, and a receiving touchdown last game. He should be having that all freaking season. Why aren't they including him more? He is a mismatch nightmare. He has the speed to get past linebackers. He has the strength in this. He has the strength and the power to bully the living hell out of any corner that comes his way. This man's a beast. You got to start.
Love it, love it, love the energy too. That was great starts, and you definitely had the harder of the names with Tyler Algier and Olamide Zacchaeus. But we're gonna move it on to the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. Um, Buffalo is away on this game. The Jets are coming off a really bad loss against the Patriots. The Patriots right over here. But I'm sure that the Bills are going to be still heavily favored, even though the Jets defense is really good this year. Josh Allen, is that even a question? Josh Allen's number one, QB1 all season, all day long, every day, all day. Um, Devin Singletary and Naheem Hines. I don't know what's going to happen with Devin Singletary now that Naheem Hines is over there, because Naheem Hines is a very, very good running back that just doesn't get as much love. Um, I think we're going to see some snaps with Naheem Hines in there. I think we're going to see some Devin Singletary and maybe sprinkle of some James Cook. The Jets are a very good defense this year, and I just don't trust any of the running backs right now. But as far as the receivers goes, you're starting Stephon Diggs, and you're damn right you're starting Gabriel Davis. Gabriel
Hell
Davis,
yeah.
Gabriel Davis can hit a 99-yarder on one play if he wants. He already did it just a few weeks ago, and he can come back and throw another 60-yard. He did it in the same game. You are never benching Gabriel Davis. I know it's a little boom or bust play, but when it booms, he will win you that week guaranteed. And Stephon Diggs, just because of that man, I lost fantasy last week, so I'm a little upset at him. But I'll still keep him in the start column. He's the top 3 receiver in the league right now. Um, and you just cannot bench this man. Dawson Knox, a little bit disappointment year from Dawson Knox, to be honest with you. I was really expecting big things for Dawson Knox. I didn't end up getting him in any of my drafts, but I still thought he was going to be still good. He's been more of a blocker and for Josh Allen and the run game, but I think maybe towards the playoffs he'll get it going a little bit. Very touchdown boom or bust dependent. I don't think he gets into the end zone this week, so I'm gonna keep him in the sit column. Ray, how are you feeling about the Jets? I see sit, sit, sit right off the bat.
Oh, absolutely. Zach Wilson, man. I mean, let's talk about his last game. He threw 3 horrible interceptions last game. Who the hell was he throwing to? He was throwing to the MILFs in the freaking stands, man. That's what he was throwing it to. So let's not even talk about this guy because you got to sit him. You got to sit him. You have to sit fantasy owners. Listen to me. Please sit this man and hide him away from your moms. Hide this man away from your moms. Let's go to Michael Carter. You know, I know this might be a shocker for some because Michael Carter dude, he's a fantastic running back. The only reason why I'm saying to sit him is because I really think that this defense is extremely stout for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they're an extremely good football team. I know that last week, they did get ran on pretty good against the Green Bay Packers. But once again, divisional game. I just don't see Michael Carter having that great production that we used to see. James Robinson is another guy. I have him personally on my fantasy. James Robinson, I feel like his career, I just feel like he needs to be traded to a team that really needs him. Like, and it's sad that he's traded to the Jets. They can utilize him as a good backup, but this man's a starter. He is a starter. I understand I put sit. I would sit him. I wouldn't play him because Michael Carter's going to get the majority of the carries and the looks. But I do feel very bad for him because I feel like he can put up RB1 numbers consistently every single week if you give him to a good football team that really, I would say, that really would give him an opportunity. Garrett Wilson, I love me some Garrett Wilson. Man. I have him on my fantasy, dude. He had talk about first and foremost, not just the Bills defense is extremely good, but the Patriots defense is extremely good. Jack Jones is a freaking boss. If you don't know who the hell he is, go on your damn freaking computers right now and look this man up. This man's a freaking boss. Garrett Wilson had 17.50 fantasy points against a really damn good freaking New England Patriot team. And who's the man who's throwing the ball? The MILF Hunter, baby. So I really seriously think, I don't know if he gets a touchdown in this game, but dude, I think if they can utilize him creatively, I think he has a really good opportunity. And it's the same with Tyler Conklin. Tyler Conklin, man, this man, seriously, I love his play. I love his play. He's shown the potential. So if you look at his last game, right, he had 6 receptions for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not one, but 2 touchdowns, and he had 10 targets. So he's obviously clearly a mismatch for linebackers. And I think if you're going to beat the Bills, go attack those linebackers. Attack those linebackers and play and have Zach Wilson throw to a security blanket, which is Conklin. And if they want to take a shot deep, take a shot deep to Wilson. He's an extremely good route runner. I think that these guys are going to have. I think they'll have good games. I expect them to have more than 15 against a really good Buffalo team, and that's my take.
Let's go. Fired up. If Corey Davis plays right, are you starting Corey Davis or are you still going to keep him on the bench?
Oh man, dude. Um, dude, I would keep him on the bench right now just for this game.
Yeah.
I'd keep him just because he's going against the Bills. I would play it safe. I feel like for me there's gonna be some times, man, where I might be saying that a lot during this podcast. Play it safe, but I promise you, there's gonna be some guys I'm gonna say go all in for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Go all in, and that's what the Vikings did this week with acquiring TJ Hawkinson. I know you see him on the sit column. I'll get to that in a second, but the Vikings are going to the Washington for sale Commanders, who Jeff Bezos is looking into, by the way. Um,
What?
yeah, Jeff Bezos is looking into buy the Commanders. The Commanders are listed up for sale. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of stuff
Wow.
going on in the Commanders'
How
house
wild is
right now.
that?
I know, a lot. But I think the rich get richer, right? And the
Yeah.
Vikings adding TJ Hawkinson, the Vikings could be the number one offense rest of the year for me. And they are that damn good. Kirk Cousins has gotten the most love from any head coach he's ever gotten that so far. He's looking fresh out there here. He's dancing with these players. He has those, the chains on, and you know, he's looking good, man. So you got to start Kirk Cousins. He's playing with some confidence, playing with some swagger. You're never benching Dalvin Cook. You wasted an RB1 on him. He's still looking amazing. Sometimes he gets it a little hard to get going, but once this guy starts get going with the full head of steam, it's pretty much over. Raymond, I feel like I've had the easier so far because all I have is starts because I got Justin Jefferson on my side too. Of course, you're gonna start this man, man. Come on,
Hell yeah.
he's the best wide receiver in the league right now. And his partner in crime, Adam Thielen. Thielen's been getting off. This offense is looking picking up. I'm gonna start Thielen with a side of caution. I'm gonna lower my expectation a little bit on Thielen. I want to see the role TJ Hawkinson's gonna have. We know Irv Smith just went on IR. Is expected to miss about 8 to 10 weeks, so we'll see how that goes. TJ Hawkinson first game. I'm not expecting big numbers from him right now. Obviously, he'll probably go back to the start column as soon as next week for me. But as of this week, I want to see him get worked into the offense, learn the playbook. So far, I would try to find other options besides TJ Hawkinson. But if there's no better options, you still got to rock with this man because he is a touchdown threat every single play. What do you got on the Commandos?
Yeah, so for the Commandos, I put sit Taylor Heineke. And I know that you have been preaching for this man. He's 2-0. He's 2-0. I know he's doing phenomenal for that team. For how all those distractions they have for that team, he's been doing really good. But the thing I just can't if you look at his game film and you look at the way he performs, his his accuracy has always been an issue. It's always been an issue. And for me, I think this hype train ends against the Vikings. So I think that you should sit him, and I think that the Taylor Heineke isn't going to perform up to par, and I think you stay away. And it's the same thing for Brian Robinson. You know, damn, when he came out to that 50 Cent song, oh man, dude, I thought this guy was going to be a monster. But look at his game. I mean, he had 8 carries for 20 yards. 8 carries for freaking 20 yards. If I had went on a date with a chick, right, and whatever, and she had mentioned to me that she picked this guy and whatever, and he had 8 carries for 20 yards. That's a red flag. I ain't never seen that chick again. No way. I know that didn't make any sense, and I don't give a damn. That's a red flag. That's a red flag in my freaking eyes. And I think that you don't play this man. And it's the same thing for running back Antonio Gibson. Stay away. Stay away from this man. I don't even need to even go into detail. But wide receiver Curtis Samuel, you got to start this man. This guy can do it all. They utilize him in the running game. They utilize him in the passing game. He has great production. Maybe I'm being a little biased because he's on my team, just letting you guys know. But I think he's gonna put up 15 points. I really do. And Scary Terry, really? Come on, man. We got to start this man. You have to start him. I think Scary Terry is an awesome wide receiver. I think that it I think he showed that last game, I think he's got some confidence back in him for sure, instilled in him. And there's one thing that Taylor Heineke does do. Taylor Heineke reminds me of Joe Flacco, and I feel like Anquan Bolin's like Scary Terry. Literally, he just be throwing them balls and just say, "Good luck," and Terry's like, "Thank you for the opportunity," and goes and gets it like almost all the time. So, but for Logan Thomas, man, dude, this man cannot stay healthy. Can this guy? Can somebody give him some freaking new bones in his freaking body? Because this guy can't stay healthy, man. Holy crap, dude. He's been limited in practice, and dude, the best thing is to freaking stay away. Get this man some cert. Get this man. He might just need to retire, dude. He can't stay healthy, and it's sad because I think he is a good football player, but it's just sad to see football players like that, man. So, but yeah, and that's gonna be my take, and that's all.
That's all for the Commandos. Next, we're gonna move it on to the Panthers, traveling to the Bengals. This one should be a fun one. PJ Walker, XFL legend, PJ Walker will be a sit this week against the Bengals. The Bengals are very good against quarterbacks so far. They are also good against the run, but you are not benching Deontay Foreman. Deontay Foreman is looking like a locked and loaded borderline RB1 for rest of the season. Chuba's trying to get worked in right now. I don't know how much he'll get worked in, but last week Deontay Foreman getting 26 rushes, 118 yards, and 3 freaking touchdowns, man. This guy is looking like Derrick Henry out there running the ball absolutely like crazy. You are not benching Deontay Foreman. He is a locked and loaded RB2, and for people that are battling injuries, he's a borderline RB1 the rest of season. Chuba Hubbard, you got to put him on the bench right now. He's still trying to battle injuries, trying to come back. I'm curious to see how the split will come once Chuba gets fully healthy. So we'll see on that. But DJ Moore. Man, oh man, DJ Moore. Along with Stephon Diggs, the main reason I lost is because of DJ Moore. I look at the game, and this guy has like 10 points in the fourth quarter. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. DJ Moore, 10 points. I'm looking to win this week. I look away. I look back. He catches like, what was that, a 50-yard touchdown towards the end of the game?
Oh
And
yeah.
just absolutely destroys me and a lot of other people on. So DJ Moore, he's locked and loaded. You got to start him. He's getting some resurgence. Terrace Marshall Jr. He, I know a lot of people were excited for him in his rookie year. He hasn't really lived up to any of his hype. He's looking a little bit better, getting more involved in that offense. Um, he is still a sit for me though, until I can see more out of this Panthers offense that we saw last week. I'm still a little bit shaky on the Panthers, so we'll see how it goes. Tommy Tremble, God, I hope you guys are not waiting to start Tommy Tremble. Um, he is probably not even a top 20, top 25, not even probably. So I would take up some backup tight ends before I start Tommy. What do you got, Ray? What do you got on the Bengals side, man?
Oh man, let's start with Joe. Baby, let's start with Joe Burr. Oh man, dude, this guy put up 14. Basically, I'll give you the real number, 13.98. Let's just say 14. Look, man, I respect this guy. I think he is a good quarterback, but I am going to continuously say, without Jamar Chase, defenses do not fear them. They do not fear them because Jamar Chase is not there. T. Higgins is a fantastic wide receiver, and I'm still going to start talk about the about Joe Burrow, but as far as like Joe Burrow, man, I just don't see him. I I get it. They're going against Carolina. I understand that, but once again, if you look at the defense for Carolina, they don't have to put two safeties on the like over the top anymore. They really don't. They can actually play single high coverage and utilize that safety to go against T Higgins or whatever. They can do creative things like that because Jamar Chase is he's so special, and his that yak man, that yards after the catch is a real thing, and that helps Joe Burrow a lot, and it puts fear into defenses. And you saw against the Browns, there was no fear. They challenge these wide receivers. They say, "Come on, Joe Burrow, throw the ball. Let's see what you got." Because we think without Jamar Chase, you're nothing. And they proved that on Monday Night Football. And running back Joe Mixon, you got to start him. I understand that they have a hard time running the ball, but it's clear and evident. And I will continuously say this throughout this segment. Without Jamar Chase, they do not fear them. So what do? You have Joe Burrow, who's about to freaking tear both his ACLs, his spinal cord, his shoulder, and he's probably going to get a concussion because he gets sacked about a million damn times a game. He literally needs to be protected. So what do? How do you protect your quarterback but also still have good production? Run the freaking football, baby. So they got to run the ball. If they can run the ball effectively, I really think then you can start doing the play action passes. Then those open lanes can go up. And then you can start hitting T. Higgins for 15, 20 yards, taking shots down the field. Um, and that's the same like I was saying before. T. Higgins, I'll go to him next. T. Higgins, I expect a lot more targets for him. If they're going to go in shotgun the entire game, they're going to lose this game. I can promise you that right now. If Joe Burrow throws over for 40 pass attempts, they're losing this football game. They're not going to win it. I believe in my heart that T. Higgins should put up 15. He should put up 20. I expect him to put up 20. He's a good red zone threat. Um, Tyler Boyd, dude, I think Tyler Boyd can always get you those one big games. I really do. And if that big game were to come, it should have came against Cleveland. So if it didn't come against Cleveland for me, I don't expect it to come against Carolina. That's just me personally. It's the same with Hayden Hurst. I expect Hayden Hurst to not get many targets. And here's my reason as to why. Without Jamar Chase, they have to change their offensive identity. They have to. So I think they go from a very pass happy team to a very run heavy team. So you're going to be seeing Hayden Hurst doing a lot of blocking, which he actually did extremely well for Baltimore. He's a first round pick. He knows how to block extremely well. And also, I would not be shocked if he sneaks out, maybe gets a touchdown from one of those little sneaky goal line, play action passes. I could see that too. But yeah, man, I think without Jamar Chase, this team's in trouble from an offensive standpoint.
Awesome. Now we're gonna move it on to the Raiders.
Raiders.
Who suck, man. They've been absolutely horrible. but but but
Oh my god.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think the Raiders are finally about to turn it around.
Oh
They
my
just
god.
got they just got blown out by Red Rifles. New the freaking Saints, man. That's who you're gonna get blown out by 24-0. Okay, we'll get to that later. We're talking fantasy football right now, but fantasy football wise, I have Derek Carr as a start this week. Um, I think that they just got absolutely humiliated. Josh McDaniels is like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? What are you guys doing right now? You guys are humiliating. You guys are embarrassing, just like your fan base. But anyways,
Dude, can I get some popcorn? This is awesome, man. I need to get some popcorn. I need to eat something right now. This is awesome.
like I said, we're talking fantasy football. Anyways, Derek Carr bounces back this week. Josh Jacobs bounces back this week. Devontae Adams, cameraman's watch out because he's bouncing back this week. Mac Hollins, I'm expecting this guy to rip off a big one. He might have like 2-3 catches, but I feel like he's gonna rip off the big ones against this very poor Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Um, he's a little bit of a borderline for me. Hunter Renfro, man, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Last year, he was a really good wide receiver for me. I picked him off the waivers, and he's stuck on my starter for the rest of the season. Right now, he should belong on waivers. He's just doing really bad right now. Darren Waller, man, this guy can't stay healthy. He's getting older. His legs are falling off. Um, you cannot trust Darren Waller. You should have never drafted Darren Waller because we saw the decline in Darren Waller last year, and it's even more evident this year. So yeah, man, I'm keeping Darren Waller on benches until he can stay healthy and get back on the field. What are you feeling for the Jaguars, Ray?
Robbie, are you going to sit here on this Thanksgiving, early Thanksgiving special, and you're going to sit here and tell me that the Raiders are going to turn it around? You know, if I were to say, "Hey, you are you high?" You might be. I'm not too sure. But look, man, they put up zero points last week. You really think that Derek Carr to start Derek Carr? You really think you should have faith in starting him?
The only reason is because there goes the Jaguars. That's it. If the Raiders faced almost any other team, I will never take the Raiders for rest of the season.
Man, that was well said, sir. That was well freaking said, dude. I should have popped some goddamn popcorn. Gosh damn it. I'm going to go on to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, you got to sit him. He's been doing absolutely horrible. This man needs to shave it. I don't know, dude. He needs to do something. He needs to get a haircut. He needs to do something differently because, man, this guy is looking sadly like a freaking bust, man. So you guys better stay away from him. Like, dude, he's just not playing good football. He's not playing good football right now, and I think he needs to do better. I think he needs to work on his mechanics a little bit better, and I think they could have something there. However, this next guy, Travis Etienne, holy garbanzo beans. If you guys like, honestly, for fantasy owners, if you got him, you should seriously go on a really nice vacation, maybe to a sandy beach with a Heineken in your hand, or maybe a Corona Premier. I like that. But I do 24 rushes, 156 yards, one touchdown, three targets for 6 yards. That's all you need to know. Start this man. You got to start him. Let's go to Christian Kirk. He had 7 targets for 3 receptions and 40 yards. You know, honestly, dude, with Christian Kirk, I feel like he's I feel like he kind of proved a little bit people wrong this year. A lot of people, they were like, dude, this guy ain't worth the money. This guy, if you look at his fantasy production, he's actually not that bad. He's not that bad. He had a down week this week. I will, and I expect him to have more than 7 points, and I'm referring to his last performance. So I expect him to have more than 7 points this upcoming week. I expect him to be in that 15 to 20 range. Um, Zay Jones. Dude, Zay Jones has been bouncing around the NFL for a long time. I know he has some of those games where he just does extremely good. He flashes, but he doesn't do that consistently on a consistent basis. So for me, am not going to feel comfortable starting him. And Marvin Jones Jr., look, man, I love Marvin Jones Jr. I really do. He was a baller when he was on the Lions, but this guy's getting old, man. He's getting old. I don't see that fluidness that he had and when he was on the Lions. I think his legs are catching up to him. So I would sit him. Start Evan Ingram. Dude, I really like Evan Ingram when he was on the Giants, and I think he's with him healthy. He put up 15.5 points on basically 6 targets for 4 receptions for 55 yards and a touchdown. 6 targets seems about right to me. So I think he will be a touchdown dependent tight end, but I do see him having a productive day. I really do. I think the Jaguars are going to win this game. I think Derek Carr's going to have -2 points. I think this team's going to have -2 points. I apologize, not zero. They're probably going to have -2 for the first time in NFL history. So, yeah, let's go Jags.
Let's go, Jags. I love it. If for those who watch Fourth and One, we got Moy's old team, the Raiders, to Moy's new team, the Miami Dolphins. Moy got a new team, the Miami Dolphins. He couldn't bear the Raiders losing anymore. Last year, oh no, I'm not a Raider fan. I'm a football fan. Raiders, Raiders start what 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. Moy, oh, I've always been a Raiders fan. What do Raiders do? They suck. Moy is the jinx to the Raiders. And now I'm hoping Moy's gonna be the jinx to the Dolphins. But this week I'm gonna rock it with Tua man. This guy is playing absolutely amazing. People are saying that this guy cannot get the ball down the field. What is he doing? He's slinging it deep to Tyreek. He's slinging it deep to Jalen Waddle. Mike Gesicki on a streak route. He's slinging it long to him. He does nothing but produce with these guys. The most accurate quarterback that Tyreek has played with. Um, Tua, you got to rock it out with him. Raheem must start Mostert. Damn, you got to start this guy, man. He is
Oh
finally
yeah.
coming. He came along slowly all through the beginning when Chase Edmonds is the starter. Chase Edmonds now out of town. Jeff Wilson's now in. Raheem Mostert, the guy that knows the most in the playbook. You got to start this guy. I don't care. He's going against the Bears defense. The Bears ship out Roquan Smith, the I expect Raheem Mostert just run all over the Bears. Um, and I expect Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to both finish in the top 10 wide receivers this week. Again, you are not benching either one of these guys.
Nope.
These guys are absolute studs. These guys are absolute ballers. You cannot bench either one. Mike Gesicki's two boomer bust for me, so I'm gonna say he doesn't get into the end zone this week. I'm gonna put him in the sit column. Ray, tell me about the Bears.
The Bears. You got to sit. Dude, I'm sorry. I apologize. You got to start Justin Fields. You got to start Justin Fields. Honestly, and the reason why I'm going to say you're going to start Justin Fields, I think that's the reason why Miami traded for Robert Quinn. And I think they made some pretty big moves is because that defense is kind of lacking. Do I think that that Justin Fields is going to throw all over the place? Absolutely not. But there's one thing that Justin Fields does extremely well. That's running the football. He had 8 rush attempts for 60 yards and a touchdown. Honestly, I don't give a damn what team you are. Even if you're the Buffalo Bills, the New England Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens, the best defense in the NFL, it does not matter. When you have a mobile quarterback that can move, it's almost damn near impossible to shut him down. That's just facts. Look at Lamar Jackson and look at right now as you're seeing on Thursday Night Football. I mean, and we'll go to David Montgomery. David Montgomery, I love him. I love his play. I think he's a fantastic player, and I really think he needs a fresh start somewhere else. And I'm surprised they didn't let him go. I'm really shocked by that. They should have traded him. They should have let him. They should have let him go. The production can be there if they give him the opportunities. But this bad man, Khalil Herbert, 16 rush attempts for 99 yards and a rushing touchdown. He's proving that he's a better running back than David Montgomery, and I expect that production to rise as the rest of this year goes on. We'll go to Daryl Mooney. Dude, once again, it's the lack of attempts, man. I mean, the lack of attempts thrown his way. It's just this offense is so run heavy dominant that they don't really feature their wide receivers there. And I'm not really so high on Darnell Mooney, to be honest with you. I would kind of stay away from him until he proves that he is that number one guy. And speaking of number one guy, pump the freaking brakes on Chase Claypool. Let me talk about this guy for a freaking second. Maybe it's because he's a Steeler and I don't like him, but this guy is freaking trash. He is trash. The Bears fans, you guys should be absolutely ashamed and appalled of this organization for going and getting Chase Claypool. Shame on that organization. I feel bad for you freaking Bears fans. I really like the Bears, your guys' fans, the vibe, the stadium, everything like that, man. But Chase Claypool, really, really a second draft pick. He's like the 10th receiver he's like the 10th string receiver on the freaking team. And literally, if you want to get technical, it's like the third? He's like the third string on that freaking football team. I just over exaggerated by saying 10, but that's just how much of trash he is. And you're going to trade. He hasn't even produced 1,000 yard season. One. He hasn't even done, he hasn't done anything, man. That's sad. I feel so bad for you guys. We're going on to Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet, dude, for years, man. I mean, dude, I mean, I can't tell you enough how much that I've seen from who was their last head coach, Robbie? What was his name? Matt
Eberflus? That's who's there right now.
No,
Matt,
no, no.
oh, Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy, since his whole tenure's there and Cole Kmet's been there too, every single year, dude, this guy would be like, oh my gosh, this guy's like, he's doing so good. He does everything perfection, blocking, catching, everything. He hypes him up so much, but every single year, he doesn't produce. He doesn't freaking produce. I understand he had a touchdown reception last game, but he only had what, like 2 targets? He had 2 targets. I mean, so he's obviously a touchdown dependent. So if you're in really deep fantasy and you're in like a 16-man league and you have to start him, cross your fingers, get your popcorn, get your coffee ready. Go to Starbucks. They got the holiday drinks out now. Get that peppermint mocha, baby, because you're going to have to freaking hope that this guy gets you a touchdown. So it's best to stay away from him. If you don't have him, stay away from him or just literally drop him.
Stay away from Cole Kmet, man. I know a lot of Bears fans were excited for their offense, but they haven't been hyped up as much as they should be this season. But Ray, I gotta ask you, who let the dogs out? K9 Kenneth Walker, baby. Kenneth Walker is an absolute stud. He is a top 10 fantasy running back rest of season. Book it. Since he started off and took over the lead role after Rashad Penny went out, 14.8 points, 19 points, 28.7, 12.2. His worst game
Woo!
taken over is 12.2. You know he doesn't have a low floor. If his low floor is 12.2, this guy, you just put him in your lineups and just lock it. Just forget he's in your lineup because he's going to be a stud. Kenneth Walker must start. K9, I love it. Geno
Mm-hmm.
Smith, Geno Smith, don't write that man off. Don't write that man off. That guy is not writing any letters back because he just keeps it rolling, baby. He's going to throw to Metcalf. He's going to throw to Lockett, who are both full participants in today's practice. So they are good to go. Marquise Goodwins, for those who ever picked him up for some reason, they can put him back on the waivers. Keep Will Disley on the waivers too because he never even started. So these guys are done. But the top 4 guys, you are starting all these guys. I am expecting lights out, lots of points in this game, Ray, and I see a lot of starts on your side.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Just like you said, I expect this game. Dude, if these teams have over 100 points, I would not be shocked. I'm not even joking. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Kyler Murray, look, man, for whatever reason, and this is not a diss on Kyler Murray, but I expect the Seahawks to go up big in this game. For whatever reason, man, for whatever freaking reason, Kyler Murray plays his best when this team's getting blown out. When his team's getting blown out by like 20 points, this guy, I think he likes that. I think this team just loves it. They love getting their ass kicked and they love coming back and making it a football game. So I expect the same thing to happen in this game. Running back James Conner, once again, man, it's kind of like that DeAndre Swift kind of thing. This guy can do a lot for you, but his injury history, dude, he's just always freaking injured all the time. And it sucks. It really, really sucks. And so, dude, I think you start Benjamin. He's playing really good football. His value, I think his value is really, really good because they are utilizing him in the passing game. So, he's got 7 targets. He got 7 targets his last game, and I expect him to have over 15 points in this game. DeAndre Hopkins, really, this guy's a freaking baller, man. This guy is an absolute boss. I love D-Hop. I really, really love D-Hop. I wish the Ravens traded for him. I really do now that Rashad Bateman's gone. Oh, man, I'm really fucking sad about that. But, yeah, dude, I love D-Hop a lot. I mean, I would not be shocked if this guy literally gets like 14 targets again. Not going to be shocked at all. He put up 33 points last week. I expect a ton of the same thing this week as well, especially in a shootout. Rondell Moore, I think is somebody that you should start because it is going to be a really high scoring game. So I think you should really take a good look at him because DeAndre Hopkins, don't be shocked if the entire defense, the entire defense is literally on him. Don't be shocked if 12 men are guarding DeAndre Hopkins because that's pretty much how this guy is. He's a freaking baller. Robbie Anderson, I think you sit Robbie Anderson. I think the chemistry flow between him and Kyler Murray isn't there yet, but I do think, and I would not be shocked I feel like it's a high risk, high reward. I think you play it safe and don't get him, but I wouldn't be shocked if he takes the top off. If he takes the top off, Kyler Murray throws one of those crazy long throws and he gets it. Do I think he's going to score? He might, but I think it's best to sit him right now. Let him build some more chemistry with Kyler Murray. Zach Ertz, you have to start. I love Zach Ertz. He's a great tight end. He's not gonna be Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews. He's not gonna get you 25, 30 something points, maybe 40 something points one of these games. But dude, he's gonna get you a consistent at least 15. He'll be a consistent 10 to 15, maybe 20 if he gets that TD or but I really do. He'll get you. I believe that he'll get you 10 or more.
I love it, man. I love it. I got DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm so excited for this game. Ray, I just want to let you know Kyler Murray is 0-1 since the new Call of Duty came out. But but we're gonna move it on, stay in that division, go to the LA Rams, who are traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm expecting very low points. I don't know what the under is, but I'm taking the under on this game. I'm expecting a very big defensive game for both of them. Stafford, please don't start this man. This guy has got one game over 20, which was 20.8 in week 2 of fantasy football.
Woo! Preach it, Robbie. Preach
You
it.
you got to go find someone on waivers. I know Raymond listed Trevor Lawrence as a sit, but I think he's a borderline. The Raiders give up the most points on literally the Raiders give up
yeah, for sure.
the Raiders, seriously, the Raiders give up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks. I would go pick up Trevor Lawrence. I would cut the ties with Matt Stafford, get him out of your lineup. I really hope no one's relying on Matthew Stafford. Daryl Williams, Cam Akers, Kyron Williams. This backfield is an absolute disaster, absolute mess. They tried to trade Cam Akers, couldn't find a trade partner. Now they call Cam Akers' agent and be like, "Hey, I think we like you. We want you back now." Cam Akers comes back to practice today. Cam Akers might get the ball. Darrell Williams might get the ball. Kyron Williams might come in and get some touches. I don't know what's going to happen in this backfield. I am sitting all the running backs. Cooper Cup, you got to start Cooper Cup. Plain and simple. You got to start Cooper Cup. There's just nothing to be said about that. Allen Robinson, one of the biggest busts in fantasy football this season. I have never been a fan of Allen Robinson. I always thought this man was overhyped. He had one good season in Jacksonville with Blake Bortles back in the day. And ever since then, everybody's been on the Allen Robinson train. I've never been on the Allen Robinson train. I will never hop on that train. And that's why he's going to stay in the sit column. Van Jefferson, he's working his way back. Not yet, but he will go over Allen Robinson at some point this season. Tyler Higbee, I could see him score a touchdown. He's been so consistent at tight ends. Tight ends are so hard to get by. I'm going to throw Tyler Higbee in my lineup if I have Tyler Higbee. He's been one of the top fantasy producers that have been consistent. What do you got on the Tampa Bay side, Ray? I see a lot of sits on your side now.
Absolutely. Must sit. You have to sit Tom Brady. Dude, this divorce is hitting him harder than Mike Tyson's punches, man. This guy is you can tell he's distracted. He is absolutely distracted. He can he cannot he can't focus. He can't focus, man. He can't focus, dude. And I really think that this divorce is hitting him extremely hard. They're hitting him right in the nuts. And, dude, I don't think you should start him. I think you should stay away. It's the same with Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, dude, he just looks so slow. He looks so damn slow. He doesn't look like the same Leonard Fournette. I know that he had you can say a good game or decent game against Baltimore, but if you look at the coverages that Baltimore was doing, they really didn't care. That game it was done. They were just like giving up stuff just to waste time. And I just don't really think that dude, I think they need to look in a different direction. I really like that backup running back though. His last name is White, I believe.
Rachaad White. I've been
Rashad
stashing
White.
him
I
on my
think they
bench.
really need. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've been stashing him on my bench since week 1 in my deepest league. It's Rachaad
Wow.
White time. It's almost there, Ray. Preach it.
Wow. Yeah, dude. I think I might have to do the same if I can find. Yeah, I think he's on my fantasy too, and I think I should go and get him. If you guys are looking for a good running back, Rachaad White, that might be he could be in your Christmas stocking this year. So Look out for him. Wide receiver Chris Godwin, dude. Chris Godwin, man, when he was going against the Ravens, you saw the Chris Godwin of old. That's the Chris Godwin that I know. I don't know this Chris, but I get it. He's injured a lot, but dude, I think his rapport with Brady is a lot better. As for Mike Evans, I think you sit him. How many times have I seen Mike Evans run a route and look back and put up his hands and be like, what? Like, what's going? And then Brady goes out the field and gets pissed off at him. And there's Brady breaking every single freaking tablet that's on the freaking sideline. And he's showing this guy, dude, this is the play. Like, how do you not know? These guys have had a rapport for 3 years and they look like they don't even know each other. That's wild. That's insane. I've never seen that before. So I think you sit him. Julio Jones, you got to sit him. This man's going to die on the field. This man's going to break every single freaking bone in his body. You got to sit this man. You have to sit Julio Jones. He doesn't look 110%. He doesn't look healthy. He just doesn't look the same. And it's really sad to see Julio like this because Julio Jones is one of the greatest wide receivers in this game. And it's sad that this new generation will only see him like this. But for our generation, man, we got to see him at his prime. It's extremely sad. I think he should really retire. Cameron Brate, dude, the name speaks for itself. Stay away from him. Stay the freaking hell away from this guy. What the hell has he ever done? He's probably going to get cut next year. He's probably never going to play a snap of football again. He might be on a practice squad or something like that next year. But yeah, dude, Cameron Brate's not doing anything. So
Yeah, very, very tough matchup. I think we're both expecting a defensive game. And just the way the season's been, it can be the completely opposite, and everybody's getting off. So, I mean, this season has been absolutely crazy. Sunday night football, we got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Kansas City. Right, the Titans are on a 5-game win streak, but you see Malik Willis on there, not Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is still not practicing. I think he came back to practice on Wednesday, and then he was out again on Thursday. So something's not right with him. I'm expecting Malik Willis to get one more start in while they try to get Ryan Tannehill healthy for the longer season. Malik Willis hasn't been good, man.
no.
His rushing explosiveness is there, which I feel like his knowledge just isn't there yet. I just don't think he knows NFL systems quite yet. He's still got a lot of things to figure out. I still think he can be something in this league, not just a backup, but he is not it right now for Tennessee. They need Ryan Tannehill bad because these receivers are just dreadful, right? You're talking about the Ravens receiver. I'd say the Titans probably have a worse receiving core. Nick Westbrook-Akina, washed up Robert Woods. These guys are done. The tight end Geoff Swaim, like, come on, man. These guys, man. If you are in absolute desperation need, I would look the way of maybe Robert Woods and just pray that he falls in the end zone. But I have a way other options other than him. But Derrick Henry, you are never benching this man. This guy, if you can go out and get Derrick Henry, if you can go out and trade with the Derrick Henry owner, I'd give up the bag for this guy. This guy is going to be possibly an RB1 rest of season. And he is the reason why the Tennessee Titans are on a 5 games winning streak because without him, the Titans are just not good, man. Derrick Henry, must starter, obviously. What do you got on the Chiefs side? I actually see a lot of sits over there, right?
I do. And here's for the reason as to why that is. Well, first and foremost, let's start with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, do I really need to say much about Patrick Mahomes? Do I really need to get into it? This man's a QB1 all day long. He's a must sit. That's just that. Running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, very sad. Very sad. He basically lost his job. He lost his job. You got to sit him. Don't trust him. Isaiah,
Pacheco.
I don't even know how you say his last name. Pacheco?
Yeah.
Well, he's coming onto the scene, but the Chiefs' run game hasn't been that great, anyways. They're a heavy dominant pass team. I don't think they're that good of a running football team. I think the front seven for Tennessee I get it. The corners. Hey, I can't really speak for the corners, but for the front seven, I think they'll do a good job against the run. That's why I'm saying to sit him. Cardarius Tony, let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes on him. I know the fans are going to be really excited. I know the Chiefs fans and all these other fantasy owners are going to be like, oh my gosh, it's freaking Cardarius Tony. We got him. He's special. I know that. We all know that. But he just got to Kansas City. Let this man build a rapport with Patrick Mahomes and let him earn. That's the thing that fantasy owners need to understand. This man can't just come into the freaking, just because he got traded doesn't mean he's going to be the number one wide receiver there. He has to earn his way, not just on the field, but he's got to show to all those 53 men in that locker room that I'm that guy. I'm the one who's going to take you guys to the top. I'm the one that you guys needed. And I think he could do it with his route running is extremely phenomenal. The way he's able to create separation against corners is just unbelievable. And it's pretty much what I'm going to do to Moy when we go out on the field. So, but going to the next one, McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman is a guy. I love McCole Hardman. I think him and Juju have been stepping up. Juju's been having 2 good fantasy games. I think got 22 and 25 fantasy points his last 2 outings. But I just think that for whatever reason, man, the Titans do play the Kansas City Chiefs pretty damn good. And I think Mike Vrabel, they're going to throw a lot of things at Patrick Mahomes. Do I think the Chiefs should win? Absolutely. And if there's any guy that I expect to have at least 3 or more touchdowns in this game, is Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is the freaking man. This guy has consistently shown that he's at least the number 1 tight end in this league, and he's going to continue being the number 1 tight end in this league for years and years to come with Patrick Mahomes there at the helm.
At the helm, indeed. Now we're going to move it on to Monday Night Football, where the Baltimore Ravens travel to the Superdome in the Saints. I am going to take over the Baltimore Ravens side for you, Ray. Lamar Jackson, start. Kenyon Drake, start. Devin Duvernay, start. Mark Andrews, sit? Yeah, I'm sitting Mark Andrews, man. I'm going to sit Mark Andrews. He's still done. It's Thursday when we were recording this. By the time you see this video, Friday practice report might already be out. But as of right now, even if Mark Andrews ends up playing, he is going to be very, very limited. I put a little asterisk next to Isaiah Likely start. If Mark Andrews is out, I am absolutely starting Isaiah Likely. If Mark Andrews is in, I would pay attention to the practice reports leading up. If you hear any limited fashion for Mark Andrews, I still start Isaiah Likely this week. I bench Gus Edwards, battling injury once again, typical Raven fashion, right, Raymond?
Oh,
Battling
yeah.
injury. Speaking of injury, Rashad Bateman got his coach, John Harbaugh, just said today he is having season ending foot surgery. So Devin Duvernay's up, right? Devin Duvernay's up. Deshaun Jackson might be up this game. We'll wait and see where his role is going to be. I'm going to put Demarcus Robinson on the sit column. I just think some of these other guys are going to get some love, and Ravens are going to really run that ball this time around. But yeah, I'm keeping Gus Edwards on the bench. I'm keeping Demarcus Robinson on the bench, and I am almost likely, depending on practice reports, keeping Mark Andrews on the bench whether he plays or not.
Yeah, I think that's a really smart move with the sitting Mark Andrews. And I understand that fantasy owners, probably are going to be like, man, well, it really does depend on Friday's practice. And if he's limited, even if he's limited, I just can't really trust that, because there has been an outing in this year's fantasy. And I think it was a couple weeks ago. He played injured and he didn't even have a reception thrown his way,
Mhm.
literally. Like, so, and they utilize that because they just try to keep him in the game to have a threat to a sense to defenses, but he really wasn't a threat. He didn't really do anything. And I think Isaiah Likely is that man. He is a bad man from Coastal Carolina. He's a really good tight end. I love this kid as a rookie, and I can't wait to see him develop with Lamar. But to go to Andy Dalton and the Saints, Andy Dalton's gonna get his ass kicked, man. He's gonna get his ass kicked on Monday night. Just wait and see, baby. We got Roquan Smith. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that? You remember that when Pittsburgh used to do that double blitz gap where they would just they would go up those two middle linebackers would go up inside and they would just wait there and they would be like, are we gonna blitz or are we not gonna blitz? And if they go at him, oh my God. Could you imagine Roquan and Patrick Queen blitzing Andy Dalton? I mean, I can't wait to see that happen. Alvin Kamara, he's a beast. I understand he put up 40 points. I know fantasy owners like myself, I have him too. I was extremely excited to see that, but don't don't come crying next on Monday Night Football when he doesn't produce that well. This front seven is just getting better and better and better. Titus Bowser, David Ajibo, they're activated. They probably will be activated for this game. I'm excited to see that. This front seven just keeps getting stronger and better for the Ravens. And we get to see Roquan Smith hunt against Kamara. I can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see it. I think Kamara will give you some good production. Do I think he's going to get you 40? Hell no. Hell no, not at all. But I think he will be just fine. Chris Olave. Chris Olave is an extremely good wide receiver, but he's going to be up against Marcus Peters, a veteran, and also Marlon Humphrey. So do I think that the veterans should have the upper hand against Chris Olave? Jarvis Landry knows this Ravens team really well. He was in Cleveland. However, I can see him going out of the slot. Jarvis Landry might have some good up and down moments, but I don't think he's going to do anything fascinating for anybody. Jawan James only had 4 targets for 2 receptions for 14 yards. Yeah, you should probably keep away. Taysom Hill, definitely sit him. I honestly really hope that they put him in a quarterback situation where he has to run. I don't understand. Like maybe for other teams that might be difficult, but for the Ravens, I don't really think it's going to be that difficult. We've been going against that quarterback sneak, that quarterback rush to the left, that quarterback rush to the right all year long with Lamar Jackson. I mean, this Ravens defense knows that extremely well. We play against Lamar every single day in practice. And if there's anybody that can replicate it better than Taysom Hill, it's Lamar. So I think that the defense will shut down anything he does. And I really hope he throws that football too. I can't wait to see what the secondary has in store for him.
Absolutely, man. I cannot wait for week 9 of football, man. I am so juiced about this. Like Raymond said at the beginning, we put in a lot of work on this. If you guys have any questions, just comment down below. We'll definitely respond to any questions that you guys might have. Raymond, is there anything else you got, man, before we end it off?
I don't, man. Like Ravi was saying before, he said it absolutely perfection. And it was awesome, man. I had a really good time. I had a really fun time tonight. And yeah, man, I hope we can make some more videos like this for you guys in the future. But man, we hope you really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. Until next time, we will be covering that big UFC card with Izzy next week. Stay tuned for that. We'll be back on Sunday recapping all the games. But until next time, peace.
Peace.